The Grammys royally f***ed over BTS. But before we get started, my name is Ariel. Welcome back to my channel. And today we are going to be covering the topic of the new, and I'm looking at my notes because I don't remember the category name. It's called Best Asian Pop Music Performance. This category is going to debut at the 2027 Grammys. This dedicated award honors artistic excellence in Asian pop music performance, including K-pop, J-pop, and C-pop, and other Asian markets. I do want to preference that yes, they do single out K-pop, J-pop, and C-pop because those are the kind of big ones that they know about, but that whole Asian region is eligible. It does not have to be K-pop, J-pop, and C-pop. Eligible tracks must include meaningful use of one or more Asian languages. This means English-only singles will not qualify, serving instead to highlight performances primarily in the Asian tongue. Let's talk about their decision to add this new category. Now, before we get started, I don't want to get on here and people think that I am saying one artist is better than the other. I'm not hating anyone. So please don't go in my comments section talking about you hate this artist or you're anti this artist. It has nothing to do with that. This is more about the Grammys and the Grammys process and historically how the Grammys have not really lived up to their own PR, I should say. The Grammys have positioned themselves as this prestigious music award, okay? This isn't your American Music Award, this isn't your Billboard Music Awards, this isn't your MTV Music Awards, it's none of those, which typically takes popularity and fan voting into consideration when you're giving these awards out, like who has the most streams or et cetera, which those things can be pretty much manipulated, just an FYI. What makes the Grammys valuable is that you are voted on by your peers. That's music producers, executives, other artists, anyone in the music space, right? That's what makes a Grammy valuable. That's what makes a Grammy stick out more than a Billboard Award or American Music Award. It's because it's supposed to be this prestigious thing, like the Oscars. It is supposed to be like high quality art, but I have some very deep concerns. One of my biggest issues is honestly the voting process itself. Recently, the Oscars has implemented a new system and measurement of how that people have to or are required to watch the movies they are voting on, right? And before, in the past, it was based on an honor system. Like, you wanted to believe that these actors, directors, whatever, who are voting on these movies are watching the movies and accurately voting. But let's be honest, we already know not everyone's watching everything. And it's the same thing with the Grammys. Well, the Oscars now state they're going to be tracking it now. You now have to physically go in and say, hey, I've watched Coco. I've watched Another Battle or whatever that movie's called. I've watched Scary Movie. Like, you have to go in and say, yes, I've watched this. And you have to indicate where you've watched it, whether a movie theater, whether it be a movie festival. You have to go in and say, yes, I watched this. The Grammys still implement the honor system. So they are still trusting their people that they are listening to the music they are voting for. The problem with that is, how do we even know that they're listening to that music? And let's be honest, based on how some of the journalists and music execs and et cetera have treated BTS in the past, who have paved the way into the Western market for K-pop, I'm not confident that these other executives, et cetera, are listening to the music. I can't You can't. And so the thing is, I wish that they had a way for tracking. Like, yeah, I did go and listen to this full album. I did not discriminate towards the artist's name, the artist's race, or the genre of music. I really sat down and I listened to this full country album, even though I'm a rap artist. And here's my honest thoughts on said country music. And so adding this new category, are these people listening to these Asian acts that are mostly going to be in their native tongue? You can't put out an English song and get nominated for this category. It doesn't work like that. It has to be in an Asian language. So are these executives, these artists, these producers, these writers, are they actually listening to the music that is being submitted? And quite frankly, it's very broad. Asia is very broad. You have Taiwanese, Thailand. There are so many other places. It's not just Korea. It's not just Japan. It's not just China. There are plenty of Asian nations that produce music every year. Are they really listening? Are they really listening, or are they just voting for the name that they recognize? And quite honestly, at first glance, you may think this is progress. We are moving into a direction. K-pop is finally in the Grammys. And I want to be clear, this can be a very positive thing. This can definitely highlight new artists, put new people on the map. Hey, maybe I may learn some new names out of this. It may get some people to a push into the American artists, like, oh, who is this artist getting nominated? Or who's this artist getting nominated? Yes, correct, right? Correct. And this category also may bridge them into other categories like new artists, album of the year, song of the year, etc., etc. Even though those are a lot more competitive, it may actually get them into those categories that they may not have gotten in before. But I can't help but wonder if this category will be more of a separate lane rather than that bridge into those major categories. And we've seen this happen historically. Hip-hop artists have spent years fighting for legitimacy at the Grammys. And eventually rap categories expanded, which was good in some ways. And it also did bridge the gap between rap music and those major categories. You have people like Kendrick Lamar, Cardi B, Drake, etc., getting these nominations in these major categories. But it took years. It took years, okay? First, they didn't even have the category, so it was hard for them to even get into those top major categories. And then when they did, it kind of pigeonholed them for a little bit. Like, okay, well, here's your rap Grammy. Instead of getting music, album, artist, song of the year, you got stuck with rap album of the year or rap song of the year, which is fine. I'm not saying that doesn't bridge the gap. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is it can be a way to segregate sections of music that may not be popular to the white artists. Something else that I kind of forgot to touch on this, and I really did want to, is that also these songs are in English. And that's another hurdle that you're going to have to get over. In this particular category that's being added, it's going to be in the Asian language. It's got to be majority in an Asian language. It's not going to be in an English language. So then, to like, who's listening to this music? Are they going to respect the music? Are they going to go out and actually look at what the lyrics are? There's so many layers to this, and considering that this category is mostly for the Asian language and all the other categories are mostly English, you start to see where the disparity is going to come into when talking about these Asian songs and performers. These awards. I want to look at someone like Beyonce. And the reason why I bring her name up is because she is a big superstar and she is known for her creativity. She is known for her artistry, vocally, dancing, etc. Okay? Do you know that she's only won Album of the Year once? And that was for Cowboy Carter. And a lot of people don't even think that's her best album. Beyonce has been in this industry for decades, and she finally won Album of the Year for an album that people are saying is critically acclaimed. I'm not saying it isn't, but a lot of people are arguably going to tell you it's not her best album. And also another thing is Beyonce, Beyonce Knowles, Beyonce Carter has never won Record of the Year. Not for Single Ladies, not Girls Run This World, not Flawless, not Formation. She has never won Record of the Year. Can you not even realize how many iconic songs that Beyonce has released throughout the years to have never won Record of the Year? Absolutely insane to me. Absolutely insane. I just, what? And listen, I'm not saying Beyonce deserves to win every time, every year, and every time she's up. Absolutely not. Obviously, you're going to have diversity in the people who are going to be nominated and who wins. But it seems as though there is a bit of a pattern, and that concerns me. It kind of feels like we get the same artists over and over again in these major categories. Your Taylor Swifts, your Drakes, your Beyoncés, your Adele, your Billie Eilish, your Kendrick Lamar, your et cetera, et cetera. It seems as though once an artist reaches a certain level, right, they are guaranteed, in a released music, they are guaranteed for a Grammy nomination, regardless if the album was good or not. And listen, I'm not saying that these people are not talented. Taylor Swift is talented. Drake is talented. Adele is talented. Billie Eilish is talented. Kendrick Lamar is talented. They're talented people. There are people that I listen to. I listen to Taylor Swift. I listen, not so much Drake, not his newer stuff. Not his newer stuff. But, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about Bruno. I listen to Adele. I listen to Billie Eilish. I listen to Kendrick Lamar. I listen to these artists. No problem. One of my favorite Taylor Swift songs is Loss of My Life. I love Loss of My Life. Honestly speaking, one of her best songs. Shoot me. I don't care. You tell me you're listening to Loss of My Life. That is, I think, one of her best songs she has put out in a long time. To me. But I digress. We're getting off topic. Let me go to my notes. But like I said, it seems as though once an artist reaches a certain level, they're guaranteed a Grammy nomination, regardless of how their album sounds, is produced, is written, whether it's really good, whether the lyrics are meaningful, any of that. It just seems like, bam, all right, here's your Grammy nomination. If Billie Eilish releases at any point during the Grammy nomination period, I am going to assume she's going to get a Grammy nomination. If Taylor Swift releases, I assume she's going to get a Grammy nomination. It seems as though it's becoming very predictable of who's going to be in those top categories. It just is. And that's really fair. And honestly speaking, that's a fair question to ask. All right, like, why does the nominee? Hold on, wait. Who's calling me? Oh, my food here. I'll be right back, y'all. Why does the nominee pool feel so predictable? And that is a fair question to ask. My fear is that this new Asian K-pop, C-pop, J-pop category is basically like a here damn award. Like, here's your fucking Grammy award. Stop asking us for it, because you'll never get the major categories. And here's your little category that you have, and we'll just nominate who we want to nominate in there. And quite frankly, it's probably in the Grammy's best interest to add a category there, because think of all the artists they can now invite. In most categories, not all, you're going to get between 5 to 6 nominees for an act, for anything, song, album, whatever, right? So think about this. If you add this new K-pop category, right? And you now can and you can now have 5 to 6 different people nominated for this category. You do realize the only people allowed to perform at the Grammys are the people who are nominated. What has been going down in viewership over the last couple of years that has been on the news and constantly talked about over and over again? Oh, that's right. Viewership of music awards. And what would up the viewership of a music award? I don't know, maybe adding a whole new international category to get people to watch your show, because you're gonna stick this category on the main show for it to be presented live. Because if you don't know anything, if you're not hip to the Grammys, 80 to 90% of the Grammy Awards are awarded not on TV. They are awarded separately pre the TV. This is gonna be your classical music, your folk glass, your instrumental stuff, your movie soundtracks, yada 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 yada. Those do not get presented live on TV unless there is a notable person in that category. Then they will present it live on TV if they think that person's going to win. Because, like I said, if you're nominated for an award, you get to perform. You get to perform. And who doesn't want to see their favorite artist perform? Who would not love to see ATEEZ get nominated for a Grammy and then perform on the Grammy stage live in front of an American audience? Like, think about that. And then think about the new viewerships you're going to look at. Are ATEEZ fans even watching the Grammys? And I'm pretty sure a portion of them are. I'm pretty sure a portion of them are American and watch American and listen to American music, etc., etc. But you also are going to get those people who were not planning to watch the award show. Now you can have 5 to 6 different Asian acts go perform at the Grammys, which is great. I'm not saying that's not going to open doors for new acts. I'm not saying that it's not going to be, this isn't progress, but I'm saying that this is more than just adding a category. This is strategic for the Grammys to do something like this, especially considering like they add the Latin category. Why? Bad Bunny's popular, Shakira is popular, J Balvin is popular. These people are popular. Karol G, Becky G, all these people are popular. Latino music has 1 billion people in there that listen to it regularly. Of course, you're going to add those categories and get to perform. And guess what? I'm just going to be honest. The American artists aren't performing like they used to back in the day. We are not getting a Britney Spears performance from a lot of these girlies out here. A lot of them are getting up there and singing. But who you are going to get performances from? You're going to get a performance from the Latin community. You're going to get performances from the K-pop and Asian community. They're going to come there. They're going to give you a performance because that is what is in their culture to do and embedded into their music. They're going to give you that performance. They're going to give that to you, and it's going to raise the viewership. And people are going to want to watch the Grammys. People are going to want to look and see and who's performing. And guess what? You can sell it to advertisers. You can get more money, and you can get more money, and you can make a profit. Right? Wouldn't it be great to see it twice performing at the Grammys? Wouldn't you want to see an NCT performing at the Grammys? Shiny, Big Bang, Red Velvet, aespa. Think of all the artists that are so huge in the K-pop community. Just K-pop alone. We're not even talking about J-pop, C-pop, Thai pop, none of that. We're not even talking about any of those categories. Jeff Suter. What if we can get a Lay performing? Lay from EXO. He's huge in China. He's probably one of the biggest Chinese musicians out there that I personally know of, one of. And wouldn't it be great for him to be able to submit his music for Grammy nominations? Now, granted, I will let you know, spoiler, in order to be nominated for a Grammy, you have to, one, be in the eligibility period, but two, also release your music, whether it be physical or digital. You do not have to do both. And you have to be a part of the academy, whether that be individually or your company has to be a part of the Academy and submit the work on your behalf, right? That's what BTS did to get their Grammy nomination in the beginning. Now they are a part of the Academy, but in the beginning they signed within the music, with an American music label, so that they can, not just the Grammys, it was for a lot of other things, but that American music company was obviously in the Academy, and they can submit the music for nomination consideration. I don't want to talk all day because I could go on and 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 on about this topic, right? And I'm hoping that putting this category in, it does allow for exposure and the ability for artists to be considered for those other categories, like Album of the Year, Song of the Year, Record of the Year, Artist of the Year, New Artist, because I'm hoping this doesn't just become a separate category where K-pop goes to stay, or Asian music goes to stay. Right there, you stay there, and we'll be over here. I'm just hoping it doesn't end up like that. That's the only thing that I hope for. I hope this new category is a new step forward, but we will see. We will see how this plays out. We'll see who's going to be nominated. Apparently, it's going to be in the 2027 Grammys. So in the upcoming Grammys, we are going to be seeing these Asian acts. And what's crazy, though, is who's voting on this crap. Because so far, I only know hype artists that are in the Academy. We're not even gonna do we have any Asian acts actually not voting on these awards? It's just crazy. But like I said, I can go all day, all long, and this could be end up an hour-long video, because there's so many things I could think about to talk about regarding this topic. But we'll see. Let me know down below, do you think it's a good idea? What are your concerns? What are your thoughts? Do you think it's a step forward? Do you think it's a step back? Let me know down below. But please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. My content is going to be changing soon, and I have a whole video planned about it because I'm having some life changes going on. So you guys are going to be seeing me a lot more often on this channel. So hopefully, well, you are, because I'm not going to have much more of a time, and that's a hint. But yeah, I'll see you guys. Bye.